Sources have told NDTV Profit that M&M is all set to sell its stake in RBL Bank. And some of you may be wondering, why does M&M have stake in RBL Bank in the first place? This goes back to 2021 when the stake was purchased as a treasury operation by M&M. Puneet is joining in to give you the context and also why this is a significant move for both of those entities. Puneet?
Well, thank you for that. And as you rightly mentioned, that a 3.45% stake is expected to be sold, generating 682 crores from this sale. And while M&M's name hasn't come yet in the term sheet, it's the only one that actually holds that kind of equity stake. And with this coming out as essentially a clean out of the ownership that they have, it seems to be, and sources indicating to us that it's Mahindra and Mahindra. What's also interesting is that it's coming in at a floor price of 317 rupees per share, which is almost a 2% discount to the current market price of roughly about 323. But what's very, very interesting is the returns they've generated of almost 64% over the last couple of years with this investment, because they bought it at 197 rupees per share and selling it at 317. So it's a whopping 64% returns for a treasury investment. That's not too bad, to say the least. And subsequently they invested 417 crores and will get 682 post this sale as well. But why this particular purchase in the first place is a key as well, because when this was announced on July in 2023, Mahindra's share price actually fell by 6.9% when this transaction came out, that their purchases, and management had stated that this is largely a treasury investment, and to increase the scope of understanding in the banking space is what they mentioned at that time in the conference call as well. They also stated that further stake could be purchased at 9.99%. But that subsequently did not happen, as we all know. But why sell now is the other and the final question, right? Because Emirates NBD has actually purchased a 60% stake in RBL Bank at 280, which is well known. But that is also the open offer price for the company, which is now scheduled to open on December 12th for investors. So for M&M, it likely makes all the sense in the world to sell it above the open market, above the open offer price of 280, and then cashing it out at 317, but not too bad, to say the least, for a treasury investment. And when I asked and posed this question to the management on November 4th, post their earnings, they stated that they continue to evaluate these transactions on a treasury basis, and each individual will be seeing amongst others as well. So very interesting to see that this is finally coming, the full circle, to say the least, and we'll be seeing a decent return for M&M on the treasury investment.
Thanks, Puneet. I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting, but from the overall size of the M&M P&L balance sheet, I mean, this will be one small drop in the ocean, so to say. Great transaction. But okay, I think very important for RBL perspective.
You know why it's, I won't say sweet revenge, but why
it's vindication.
It's vindication is because when they came in with this transaction, first there was a rumor that are they getting into banking, which was clearly not the case. And then secondly, it was that this is looking like a bad investment. So from that perspective, it's a positive more than anything else. But you're right, it's not floating.
It won't move the needle too much.
It's not, doing anything in that sense for M&M. Avinash Gorakshakar, how are you liking M&M right now? Not just because of RBL, maybe that's a sentiment boost?
No, I think, good morning, Tamanna. I think M&M looks very interesting because, the numbers were much better than what the street expected. And I think the second half is going to be equally strong, both for the utility vehicle, tractor business and the electric vehicle portfolio. I think, as Neeraj rightly pointed out, this M&A deal is not going to have any big impact on the earnings because it's a very small number. But core numbers are going to improve. I think, looking at the kind of progress of the monsoon, the rate cuts and the GST cuts, I think compared to all the other auto majors like Maruti or Tata Motors, I think here the risk reward looks pretty interesting. I would suggest that, if somebody has a 12 to 15-month view, we could see better numbers coming in not only from the December, but normally the January to March quarter is supposed to be a bumper quarter. So I think valuations also look pretty reasonable. One could definitely look at, doing a small kind of swiping at the current level. Net, I think the management commentary was also good. I think they were very forthcoming on the fact that the second half typically is a much better period, and this time it should be much better considering the monsoon and the kind of traction they've seen both on the UV and the tractor side.
Let's listen in to what M&M CEO Anish Shah said. Puneet was at the press conference for the results conversation when they announced their results, and he asked Anish Shah about the stake in RBL Bank. Listen in.
On your investment in RBL Bank as well, and you have stated enough. But in terms of your interest in keeping that stake, or would you be participating in the open offer? Because you don't seem to be in a hurry. Your stake is also minimal in terms of your own treasury income. So is there any thought on that?
I think we should do a graph if someone can do that on timeshare of RBL in some of these conversations versus the impact on overall M&M Group. I think we'd see a good difference. So at this point, as I said, we're looking at it as a treasury investment, and we will make the calls as we do for treasury investments from time to time.
Okay, that call has been made clearly, and at least that's what the reports are. You can expect that block to come in today. Milan, if there is a dip in RBL because of the size of a block, would you see that there's an opportunity over here?
Well, not really, because if I look at RBL Bank in isolation, I think probably it has put a temporary top in place. So I would wait for lower levels, even if there is an opening dip. I'll allow some corrective retracement, more corrective retracement to take place before I look at buying it. So no, I would not recommend anyone to buy it just because of this dip.
Okay. Okay.